If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
The Daily Positivity Podcast.
You gotta be a little selfish. You gotta make yourself whole. You gotta love yourself before you can love somebody else, is what I'm trying to say. So these people around you, if they aren't providing a purpose, if they aren't, a purpose of motivation because they're successful or they're inspiring, they make you laugh or they make you feel good, keep them. If they're draining on you and they're just a debt to society, kick them the fuck off the dock, man. Throw them down. You don't need them in your life. They will bring you down and decrease your potential of who you can be. Not only people, guys. I'm talking about negative energy in work environments and social settings. Find out if it's working, guys, and do not fall into a comfort trap. A comfort zone is your danger zone. Just because it's comfortable is probably wrong. I know it sounds weird, but we all get all comfortable and we go through the motions and it's rehearsal and we no longer are thinking it's just comfortable. No, if it's comfortable, you're not forced to adapt to anything new. So therefore you're not growing anymore, intellectually or physically. You're just going through the fucking motions. Going through the motions is going to be repeat resolutions every single year, guys. What I'm saying is that if you're in a job opportunity that you need the kind of money, but you absolutely hate it, and you always wanted to kind of break loose of that, why not try it, man? What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? You fail, but you're happy, meaning that you did something. You decided to do it. You said you're going to do it, and you did it. If it doesn't work out, at least you know the outcome. I much rather try and fail than wonder what if the rest of my life if I could have won.
Confidence is perishable. It is. You have to test it. Going up to that good-looking girl that you think's way out of your league and saying hello. Take some balls, man. But you're challenging yourself. You're building your confidence. Even if she says no, who cares? Everyone's failed. Every hero in the world, role model, failed. Society doesn't remember the failures. They just remember if you succeed. They remember if you showed up. They remember if you gave a shit. Make sure you're one of those people that does show up, not sits there as a critic and points their fucking finger at everyone else's misfortunes or missed opportunities when they haven't even tried it themselves. Don't be an expert on something you've never tried. That's called a fucking critic. But in order to grow your confidence, you do little tests like this, different little things. You see every little small innuendo, your friends' stories or despair and stuff. You talk to them, you open up, you lend yourself to them because you learn something from it too. And you challenge your confidence. You don't stay around the same circle of loser friends. You try to find a more elevated friend, someone that brings the best out of you, that challenges you, that keep growing it and growing it and growing it, man. That's what keeps you young. That's what keeps you excited. That's what keeps you getting up in the morning for a purpose.
I don't want to be this way. I want to get out of this. How do you get out of it? You say you're going to do it. You commit to it. You make it fucking happen. As you get into it, guys, and you feel that love, that sweat equity, that pump, that life that's found in non-tangible items. It's like the weights. There's no life in the iron. But when you grab and you start moving, somehow that iron brings life into you. You get that feeling, right? You stay on that path. Then you start applying all these other tricks of the trade and everything else. Finding out what the optimal supplements are, what the optimal, times to eat are, what the optimal cardio is. But apply yourself before you do any of this, guys. Don't make up another excuse that, I'm not going to join the gym today. I'm not going to go work out.
Do I do this or do I have to do it? Just get doing it, man. Just get into the motion and do it. Along the way, you'll find out, what you're made of. Or you sit back and war game it. Well, if I do this, I gotta do this, I gotta calculate this, calculate that. You figure that out along the way. Just get involved. Stay moving forward. Don't be stagnant. I know it sounds like whatever, but that is it. That's life. Every single day is another opportunity that you can turn it around, guys. This air we're breathing is life. You can take this life and transform it the way you want. Drive the car you want. Drive your destiny into what you want, your dreams, make them a reality, guys. You can do it every single day. You can wake up a certain day, and that person you woke up with, you can say goodbye to that person that day and go to sleep a stronger person, or a better person, or more forgiving, or more compassionate. Whatever it is that you're lacking, once you have the knowledge to know that this is what your makeup is, this is your one weak link, now you've identified that, now you can put different things that you've learned throughout life and apply what you've learned.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Fix that weak chain to make the whole unified person of who you are, mind, body, your name, your character, the integrity and honor that you carry yourself with, into somebody that's respected, that's remembered in life. Otherwise, you will be forgotten, and gladly forgotten.
The Daily Positivity Podcast.
My philosophy was a very simple one. And this is where I think film plays a big part of my life. Rudy was one of my favorite films growing up. But after watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, with being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, you do that for 20 years, what do you have? Yeah, well, Phil introduced meditation to us when he came to our team in 99, 2000. And it was something that I instantly gravitated to because I could see the effects. I used to watch, studying the games, the Bulls teams, and watching their demeanor, watching their composure, playing in a tough place in like Utah doing the finals and being down 17. But everybody was like this. You couldn't tell if they were down 17 or up 20 or a tie game. It never changed. And I was wondering why the hell that is. And that's when I started doing more research. And when Phil came, I immediately gravitated to it and found myself accepted the challenge of finding what that space is. And for the 81-point game, man, to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about the game. My knee was hurting so much. I didn't know then, but I had a flapper joint of cartilage stuck in my joint line. And so my mind was really trying to go to a place where I don't feel that pain. And the game started, and because of that, I was just in a different space. I wasn't worried about what was to come. I wasn't worried about what just happened. I was just here. And when you're just there in the moment, playing plays right in front of you, your focus is heightened because nothing else matters. Well, here's why practice was important to me. Not from just the standpoint that I enjoyed playing. Like, I enjoyed being there. I enjoyed getting better. But as a leader of a team, it's also your responsibility to elevate the rest of the guys. And what people tend to get stuck on a lot is saying, okay, the way to make players better is to pass them the ball when they're open. It's a very trivial way to look at things. what you have to do is you have to get them emotionally to want to be better. You have to get them to an emotional space where they wake up every morning driven to be the best version of themselves, right? And how do you do that? And in practice, for me, it was a chance to drive them, to challenge them, right? And this is where you have to know your teammates, because if it's late, we just had a back-to-back and we had practice the next day, and you show up and guys don't feel like going through the motions, don't feel like practicing. It's important to know each and every one of them individually, personally, because then you know what nerve to touch. Some guys, it's like, okay, come on, we can do this. That'll get them going. Other guys, no. You got to figure out what button to push. Powell was always Spain. If I tell them how they lost in a gold medal to us and how they're going to lose again, how I'm going to beat your ass in practice, just like I beat you in a gold medal game, he'd hate that. He'd hate that. But that's what practice was. You have to drive them. You absolutely have to. And if practice is more intense and harder than a Game 7 will be, then a Game 7 will be easy. But if it's not, then that's when teams start folding and capitulating. No, I always dreamed as a kid that, it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just had a dream. Like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. And you just kind of, that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I would imagine what the uniforms look like. I would imagine where we'd be playing, and the smell of the arena and all sort of stuff. And I would see myself, getting hot, and score 10 straight points. But in a dream, why would you ever interrupt that? You're not going to have a dream and be like, okay, and then he misses his next 6. It's not going to happen. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming. And before I go to sleep, I'm at 120 points, And so when you grow up, downloading that into your brain over and over and over. And then, that summer, I made 1,000 shots a day. 1,000, right? That's on top of weight training and my conditioning. I made 1,000 shots, and they weren't just shots. It were shots that you saw in that game. They were specific shots. It was coming out of the corner, going to the pinch post, footwork in the post, coming off the screen. It was very specific. So when you download that into your system and you go out in the court and you're just executing things that you've done thousands of times before, and you have that dream, then that becomes possible.
That would be the way you would express it.
Sure. Well, no, it's that's the trick, isn't it? It's finding what you love to do. When we talk about hard work all the time, it's like, man, if you got to get up every single morning and remind yourself how hard you need to work, you probably need to choose a different profession, because that shouldn't be there. I wake up in the morning excited to get to it. If I'm not training, I'm missing it. If I'm not watching a game of basketball, I miss it. There's no place I'd rather be. And if you have that feeling, then you're truly doing what God has put you on this earth to do.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.